2, 1. Hi, folks.
Hi.
Hey. Hey, it's great to see everybody here tonight. What a crowd. Joe Messino here, of course, for the World of Wellness. And this is Wellness Wednesday. We've been following a theme for the last couple of weeks, maybe even since January. You know, and the first thing you do in the beginning of the year is always kind of a cleanse, right? You always want to kind of detox, cleanse, get rid of everything that you abused over the holiday season, right? You know, and all through the month of January, we talked about detox. And it's always good if you proceed a weight loss program with a detoxification program. You need to get rid of toxins. Why is that so important? Because the cleaner your body is, the more efficient it'll be at losing weight. Brief recap of last month, okay? When we ingest toxins, and we do, right? It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in your food. You're getting heavy metals, you're getting all of the junk that they spray on the foods. You're getting all the chemicals that they add to the foods. And this is going on over not just the holiday season, but basically your whole life. Now, your liver is an amazing organ, and it can get rid of a lot of these toxins, but not all of them. And when it gets overloaded, they have to get deposited somewhere. Where is that? Fat cells are the depositor. That's the place, that's like the bank vault for toxins. And once they're in those fat cells, you can't burn those cells as energy. Now, there's only two places your body can go for energy. And that's fat, sugar, right? Glucose. Now, it doesn't burn protein as energy. That's kind of a misconception. Protein provides the building blocks, right? The amino acids to repair your body. But when it comes to energy production or energy consumption, there's only two places: carbohydrates or sugars and fat. When your body goes to burn fat, if it's loaded with toxins, those cells can't be burned as energy. We're going to talk about ingested carbohydrates and how they're burned as energy when we get to the weight loss solutions. But what we're talking about right now is stored fat, and all stored fat probably is attached to a toxin. So it's very difficult, and that's why you get people that do that, the yo-yo weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain. Because when they can't burn the fat as energy, they burn muscle tissue. That means their metabolism goes down, and it makes it harder to burn, and it makes it harder to lose. So you get into a mad cycle. But that's what we talked about last month. So it's very important to detox before you do a weight loss protocol. But February is normally heart health month, right? But they probably don't talk about it the right way. They probably tell you to control your cholesterol. Don't eat fat, keep your cholesterol low, take your statins, right? Run for an hour on the treadmill. First of all, heart health. Usually it's a byproduct of your lifestyle. A positive side effect, or we call them PSEs, of a good weight loss protocol is a healthier heart. So we're going to get to heart health. Okay, but that's not the focus. The focus is, how do you get there? In 1 month, can you really change your heart health? Can you change your body composition and your metabolism in 1 month? Yes. And then the byproduct of that is going to be better heart health. But now let's get down to how you can accomplish that. Weight loss is really a matter of lifestyle, and not just what you're doing now, but what you've been doing and what you're going to continue to do. Weight gain, or unwanted weight gain, has a lot of different contributing factors. For some people, it's the amount of carbohydrates they ingest. For some people, it's a hormonal imbalance. And for other people, it's a matter of their engine just isn't burning. They're not firing up that engine so it can burn energy. Thermogenics, right? You hear about, is it a thermogenic? Is it going to help me burn energy? Well, those are the three main approaches for weight loss. Carbohydrate control, we'll just give it that little category. Hormone balancing, and thermogenics. So when we talk about carbohydrate control, what exactly does that mean? First of all, it means you got to get rid of all the refined, simple carbohydrates that you're ingesting on a regular basis. And that's all of your, your sugars and candies and cakes and cookies. Hi, Kylie. Kylie loves insomnia cookies. Did you ever hear of this? I didn't either. I never heard of them until she told me about it. Insomnia cookies. Why do you think they call them that? That sugar crash is going to put you to sleep. But anyway, so carb ingested sugars. Now, every food you eat, your body turns it into glucose so it can be burned as energy. But the overconsumption of sugars send that whole balance into haywire, right? It's just way off balance. And many times, sugar is, in my eyes, is the enemy. Fat is not. Sugar's the enemy. Refined sugars, not natural sugar, not the kind you get naturally occurring in fruit and vegetables, because that has something that goes along with it, and that's fiber. The fiber balances it, so your body can absorb it. But the refined sugars, the yellow, the pink, the blue, the white, all those little packets, white death. The problem also is that when you ingest these carbohydrates, they need to be burned immediately. So if you're not running on the treadmill, if you're not out playing basketball, if you're not out, doing track or something that's going to burn that immediately, it's going to store. And when it stores as body fat. Sugar stores as fat when it's not burned. So there's the first problem that we have in this country, probably more than anything else, is the amount of sugar that we consume. Then there's another problem. There's deficiencies that are always involved, right? And the deficiency involved here is in a trace mineral. Now, you know what a trace mineral is? Let's say the whole minerals, like calcium and magnesium and phosphorus. These are basically rocks, right, that we need to absorb. And they need to be attached to something like an amino acid or a salt for your body to absorb them. But then there's also trace minerals. Now, trace minerals are usually found in micrograms, so very, very small amounts. You don't need a lot of them. But there's one trace mineral that we are absolutely deficient in, and it plays a major role in this whole weight gain formula. And that trace mineral is chromium. Chromium is they call it the gatekeeper of the cell. You ingest food, your body turns into glucose. Then your body makes insulin as the driver that takes that glucose, fires it into the engine, the mitochondria of the cell, so it can be burned as energy. You don't burn insulin, okay? You burn glucose. But insulin is the carrier. If that cell wall doesn't open up so insulin can drive the glucose in, it must not have made enough insulin. It starts making more. And before you know it, you're in something called insulin resistance. Your body is overproducing this hormone, insulin. Insulin's a hormone, okay? Let's not forget that. But the reason that cell's not opening up is because it could be deficient in chromium. Chromium's the gatekeeper. Chromium's what opens the cell to allow the glucose into the mitochondria so it can be burned as energy. So there's multiple factors at work here, right? And, the whole process of carbohydrates, everybody talks about, cut your carbs, cut your carbs, cut your carbs. But every vegetable and fruit is a carbohydrate. Every single one of them. So you don't just cut carbs, you cut the refined carbs, the refined flours, the refined sugars. And you can't cut them out 100%, but you have to moderate them. And then you've got to assist in that chemical process in your body, that metabolic process. And you need to do that. You need to assist your body through supplementation. We have the Weiner Wellness Week coming up, March 5th to the 12th. And I'll give you a little preview. One of the workshops I'm going to be doing is called Whatever Happened To. And I got a series of these I'm going to be doing. But the first one is, whatever happened to let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. Now that is a quote directly from Hippocrates, the father of medicine. And I'm going to explain in detail why we can't do that anymore and why he could in Hippocrates' time, but not in ours. But we must supplement our diet. We cannot live by food alone. Now that's a little phrase. It's a Joeism. Modified from that old original Bible quote, right? Man does not live by bread alone. Well, I say we cannot live by food alone. You must, in today's day and age, you must supplement your diet. It's just that simple. And we're going to get into our weight loss solutions that are going to help with that entire process. Now, that's one aspect, carbohydrates, right? And I told you there's another one, and that's hormonal imbalances. Those hormones that I'm talking about are not estrogen and testosterone. There are two other hormones that are directly related to what you eat, how much you eat, and how often. And they are leptin and adipinectin. These are the hormones that monitor how hungry you are and how full you feel. If there are people out there that are just hungry all the time, that's a leptin deficiency, leptin imbalance. There are people that can't get full no matter how much they eat, adipinectin. These are the hormones that are out of balance. Now, we know that there are nutrients that support those hormones and support that balance. Just like we know there are nutrients that support the balance between testosterone and estrogen, things like DIM, diindol methane, indole 3-carbinol, calcium deglucarate, they all help that ratio of testosterone to estrogen. Well, there are nutrients that help the balance, the ratio between leptin and adipinectin, so people can not be hungry all day long, not ever feel full, eat until it's coming out of their ears. You probably all know people like that. You know that term, chemical imbalance? MDs throw that around all the time. Chemical imbalance. Well, yeah, I don't know what they're referring to. They're referring to synthetic chemicals that we don't need. Nobody has a deficiency to a drug. But there are chemical imbalances when it comes to hormones and things like neurotransmitters, brain chemicals. But they can be adjusted, they can be balanced, they can be modified through nutrition. So, we're going to talk about that too, that balancing act. And then the third component is the thermogenesis. Actually getting that engine fired up so it's an efficient energy burning machine. We can help that process too. So weight loss is a complicated issue. It's not counting calories. Counting calories is an old marketing scheme to sell weight loss programs. Somebody, if you could show me a calorie that I could eat, I'd like to see it. You cannot eat a calorie. You eat a food. And that food has a specific rate at which it burns energy, as energy. You measure that with calories. Calories is a unit of measurement on how much you burn the food you eat for energy. You don't eat calories, you eat food. So counting calories is a complete marketing scam. Because what if you did that? What if you just went on a calorie counting diet? I'm only going to eat 1,200 calories a day, but I'm going to make sure I enjoy those calories. So those are all good. They're going to be donuts and pie and cookies and pasta. If you only eat 1,200 calories a day of those foods, you think you're going to lose weight? No. It's not about calories. And Dr. Tracy always says it's about counting chemicals, not calories. Okay, the chemicals in our foods. Count those if you want to count something. But don't count calories. Fad diets are all over the place, right? All over the place. We only have one diet that we ascribe to here. You know what that is? The OTE of the earth. There's lots of different variations of it, but it's basically that simple. If it walked, if it crawled, if it swam, if it flew, if it grew on this planet, if it supported life, it will do that in you. If it's something that you could eat without having to go to the store, it's good. But you have to balance things. The bottom line is you need foods that are of the earth. That's all. Doesn't matter if you're a vegetarian or not. Doesn't matter if you're, if you prefer eating meat, if you prefer eating fish. If it's fish, it got to be wild caught, not farm raised. Anything out of the ocean has to be wild caught. If it's meat, if it's red meat, it has to be grass fed. If it's chicken, it's got to be pastured. If it's eggs, they need to come from pastured chicken. That's the way it has to work. Those are clean foods. Everything else is modified. Everything else. I mean, look at the vegetables that we consume. Are they sprayed? Is there pesticides and herbicides involved? Are they genetically modified? Is it 100% USDA certified organic? No. Not in every meal? No, it's almost impossible. You do the best you can. There's the dirty dozen, right? There's the dirty dozen fruits and vegetables that absolutely positively have to be organic because their skin is even so thin, or the crevices, like with strawberries and broccoli, you can't clean the pesticides out of there. There's too many places to hide, or the skin is too thin. There are some fruits and vegetables that don't have to be organic, okay? But those lists are readily available to everybody. They're on the internet all over the place. The bottom line is, it's tough enough to get good food in your body. Do the best you can. Eliminate the chemicals. Eliminate the processes. If there's an artificial in front of anything, don't put it in your mouth. Just logically. I mean, if Spock were here, he'd be going nuts. How in the world, what does anyone think putting something in their mouth as food with the first word is artificial could be good? But it's everywhere, right? You know, Jamie does that presentation on reading labels. You know, it's so thorough. I mean, he goes from drugs to foods to supplements to you name it. People think reading labels is only about reading a supplement label. No, you got to read the labels in the supermarket. There are estrogen promoters all throughout the supermarkets. Anything with soybeans in it is pro-estrogen. Now, does that mean soybeans in and of themselves are a bad food? No, it does not mean that. A soybean is a good food. If you eat it right out of the ground, it's a good food. Edamame, good food. If the soybeans are fermented, okay, good, fine. But when the soybeans are refined into an oil and they are hydrogenated, anything refined is hydrogenated, by the way, then it's no longer a food. It's a preservative, and it's a toxin. And it's one that's going to not just be a toxin in your body, but it's one that's going to promote estrogen, because it's a phytoestrogen. And when you concentrate it and you refine it to those levels and you put it in every single packaged food in the supermarket, every bottled food, every boxed, every bagged, every canned, look at that label, it's going to have soybean oil in it. Wonder why we have hormone issues in this country. I wonder why hormone replacement therapy is through the roof. I wonder why low T is the number one thing all over the commercials. Low testosterone. Why do you think that is? Well, I got two good reasons for you. The abundance of soybean in our diet, soy oil, elevated cortisol levels, there's another hormone, from stress. And that stress can be chemical, physical, emotional, it doesn't matter. But most of it's coming from chemical stress in the form of refined sugars in our diet. We got a lot of issues when it comes to weight loss or weight management. I prefer the term weight management. And the reason is, it's not about the scale. It's about the composition of your body. It's about the balance between lean muscle tissue, fat, water, and bone. It's not about the scale, because there's a term, skinny fat. Have you ever heard that term? Okay, someone, it looks like they're thin, but they have no muscle composition. And everything there is that you see, that you don't see, it's covered by clothes, is that basically body fat. That's not healthy either. So you need a good healthy balance between muscle and fat in your body. So composition, I think, is so much more important than actual weight. How do you measure that? Well, there's a couple of good, easy ways to measure that without going anywhere and actually taking a body composition test. One is, how do your clothes fit? The other is, how do you look in the mirror naked? Those are two easy tests. If you don't like what you see, change it. But you still need help changing it, right? You need a guide. You need a way to go. You need a program. You need a pathway. You need a protocol. That's what we're here to help with, the protocol. Number one thing you got to do is make sure you're getting good, clean macronutrients. Now, macronutrients are proteins, carbs, fats, and fibers. Doing that with food from the supermarket's difficult to do. Unless you're already in a really great state of health and fitness, and you got a great diet and you adhere to it all the time. Most people that need to lose weight aren't in that category. You got to start off with at least one meal a day that will have all the macronutrients you need and the micronutrients you need to support that weight loss protocol. The best combination, the simplest, the easiest combination we've come up with. And there's lots. I mean, we've got about 16 different flavors of protein shakes back here. Some are vegan, some are whey, some are collagen. We've got the 4 colors, right? We got the oranges, the reds, the greens, and the purples. So you got all kind of combinations. These are micronutrients, these are macronutrients. But it's a great way to start off your day. And the one that might be the best for this protocol is the Super Shake Vanilla and the Pro Oranges. Why? Well, it basically tastes like an orange creamsicle. It's going to satisfy your palate, but it's also going to give you macronutrients, micronutrients in here. I mean, the kinds of the colors of orange and yellow fruits and vegetables like you've never seen. You couldn't go buy them in a store. But it also has blends that help with this thermogenic process and insulin management process. There are nutrients in here like green coffee bean extract, like DMG, dimethylglycine, like CoQ10. There's an entire energy blend in this formula that helps with sustainable cellular energy. It's not a stimulant. There's a big difference between a stimulant and sustainable cellular energy. That's what this will provide. Green coffee bean extract is in several of these formulas, and I love it. It's a great ingredient because it gives you the benefit of caffeine without any of the harmful effects. No jitteriness, won't raise, it won't make you nervous, won't raise your blood pressure, any of those things. Too much caffeine will do. But you get 2 other nutrients from green coffee bean extract. You get caffeic and chlorogenic acids. Those are the ones that help with thermogenesis. Those are the ones that help with energy. Those are the ones that help you burn more efficiently. And they also help with blood sugar and insulin moderation and regulation. These 2 together, that's a great starting point. And like I said, it tastes like an orange creamsicle, dreamsicle, creamsicle. You remember those, right? They were really good. Not good for you, but they were good. Then, we have what we call a Get Fit kit. Now, it includes these 2, and then one of these weight loss protocol supplements. There's 3 basically you can choose from that I like, and they all have a different metabolic pathway. You could use more than one. You don't have to use just one. But let me explain the differences in them. First one is Berrytone. Now, Berrytone has a mix of nutrients that help with that second part of weight management that we discussed, hormone imbalancing. There are 2 nutrients in here, raspberry ketones and African mango. Those help balance leptin and adiponectin. Those are the hormones that manage hunger and feeling full. Okay, so that's a great nutrient. You have both of those in here. You also have green coffee bean extract in this formulation. You're going to get thermogenesis from that. You're also going to get insulin management from that as well. And I think there's also some green tea in here. Yep, energy producer and antioxidant. So this is a great formula for people that have that problem with feeling hungry and not feeling full. Next we have Garcinia Cambogia. Now, Garcinia has been around a long time. The Garcinia is a fruit, but it yields something called hydroxycitric acid. HCA has the unique ability to be able to prevent the conversion of those ingested carbohydrates into body fat. It inhibits a particular enzyme, and this enzyme is needed. Okay, it's the one that takes those carbs that you're not running off on the treadmill after you ate that pizza, and it's going to prevent your body from storing it as fat. It's going to help you pass it on through the body. That's what Garcinia does. That's what hydroxycitric acid does. Now, the added benefit to this formula is that little trace mineral we talked about. Remember what it was? Chromium. It's also in here. 200 micrograms, just enough. Remember, trace minerals are always in micrograms. Okay, you don't need that much of them. But that's in here too. So now you're going to fortify the gatekeeper of the cell that's going to allow the insulin to drive the glucose in to be burned as energy. Great formula for that aspect of weight management. And then the last one is called Control. Control is for people that have cravings. It will help to manage those cravings for you naturally. And those cravings can be anything. It's something that you can use in addition. I wouldn't use it in place of either one of these. There's actually another one, and I forgot to bring the bottle up, but it's called Tonin-Lean. Tonin-Lean is conjugated linoleic acid, CLA. Now, CLA is an essential fatty acid, which means you can't produce it, you have to get it through your diet. But one of the things, we hear a lot about EPA and DHA. Those are essential fats, right? But CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, it has a different purpose in the body than EPA and DHA do. It's actually, to keep it in simple terms, it's a good fat that burns bad fat. It's a catalyst that helps your body burn stored fat as energy. It has been shown in clinical trials that it works best when you combine it with an exercise program, but it will work on its own as well. You'll get better results if you combine it with an exercise program, especially one with resistance training. And it has a minimum dose too. You need 3 of these a day to get the required dose that was used in the clinical trials, which is 2,000 milligrams or 2 grams of the CLA. And that's what you get in 3 of the Tone and Lean soft gels. So the Tone and Lean is the last of the condition-specific type formulations we have that are so beneficial for a weight management program. They provide the micronutrients to kickstart these metabolic processes in your body. Okay? And that's the key. That's why food is not enough. That's why we can't live by food alone. The food is depleted of these nutrients to begin with. And when you need therapeutic levels to reverse a metabolic process or to jumpstart a metabolic process in your body, you can't get it from food. You've got to get it more concentrated and in higher levels, and that's where supplementation comes in. We cannot live by food alone. I can't say that enough. We know that it takes 10 servings of fruits and vegetables to get the nutrient equivalent of 1 serving from 50 years ago. We know that magnesium is the single most depleted mineral, and it's involved in over 300 functions in the body, but we don't have enough of it. But every mineral and every vitamin is in the same category. You know the RDA, they came out with the RDA, recommended daily amounts. You know what we call it? Ridiculous dumb amounts. Ridiculously dumb amounts. It's only enough to keep you alive. It's not enough to put you on the path to optimal health, because most of us are not at homeostasis, not at 0 level playing ground. Most of us are below it. So to get back to homeostasis, to get on the path to optimal health, you've got to supplement your diet. Weight management is not easy, but it is simple. There's a lot of things in life that are simple, that are not easy. But we do have the protocols, we do have the formula to help. And it's about doing it. It's about taking that step and going beyond what you normally do. You know the old definition of insanity, right? Is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You got to try something different. Your body needs a kickstart. Metabolic functions in the body. A metabolic process, that word is thrown around a lot. But it's either something building up or something breaking down. It's that simple. The metabolic process for detoxification is the breaking down of something in your body. Then when you need to create energy, it's the building up of something in your body. These are all metabolic processes, but they need something to kickstart it. Good example also of that is, we started off by saying that February was Heart Health Month, but you lose weight or you change your body composition and you take stress off your heart, and in doing so, you increase your heart's ability to function. Heart health is, not something we should look at 1 month out of the year. Just like the other one that drives me crazy is the pink month, October. Every athlete in the world's wearing pink something for breast cancer awareness. What are they aware of? Well, we know it's here. What do you mean awareness? Show me where some of that money's going, Susan G. Komen. Show me how much of it's going to research on how to prevent. None. Thank you. But anyway, that's another topic. But anyway, you can't just address these things 1 month out of the year. This has got to be a lifestyle. And it changes your life. It really changes your life. So our approach to weight management, so that your heart is healthy and that you get a jump start on bikini season. That's around the corner already, isn't it? Does it ever end? I don't know. I guess in the winter it goes away a while because we wear so many clothes. So hope you got some information out of that. That's our protocol. That's our approach to weight management, not necessarily weight loss. It's not about the scale. It's about body composition. And it's about turning your body into an efficient fat-burning machine. You know what's really great about doing this at night? It doesn't require digestion. When people eat it late at night, their body has to digest, right? And that's part of their problem. They can't sleep because their body's trying to digest, and that's a metabolic process that you can't relax in. So it's a good way to do that because these are no digestion required. Start with this. Pick one of these that fits you, your lifestyle the best, and just do it. That's the step you got to take. That first step is the hardest one. But you also got to watch what you eat. You got to move, right? You got to move. Activity is so important. I don't even want to use the word exercise because some people say, I can't get to the gym. You don't need the gym. You don't need a gym. If you got a floor, you got a gym. Let's do some squats, do some push-ups. Walk, walk, walk. Just move. And eat of the earth. Remember that. The OTE diet of the earth. If it walked, ran, swam, crawled, flew, or grew, it promoted life. It will promote life in you. If it's made in a factory, it won't promote life. Okay? Wellness Wednesday, get fit, weight loss solutions from the world of wellness, and of course, nutritional frontiers. All right. Live long and prosper, everybody.